Now look at the difference between these two women.
For better,
For better.
for worse,
For worse.
for richer,
For richer.
for poorer.
For poorer.
We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Brill made it very clear to Jonathan, you cannot be broke in sickness
In sickness.
and in health.
And in health.
To love,
To love.
cherish,
Cherish.
and to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
I'll forever submit to you, Miles. I'll forever respect you, Miles.
Are you dating a single mom? I have a secret for you. You will never come first. Her kids do, every single day for the rest of your entire life. Why? It's very simple. Because they came before you. A bond was created without you and way before you ever entered the picture. Pregnancy, birth, sleepless nights, doctor's visits, school runs, everything. That bond is unbreakable. It's biology, it's instinct, and it does not negotiate. Before you, she was all over that exciting, dominant bad boy, the one that she felt raw attraction for. That's who she chose to have kids with. But once the kids are in the picture, the switch flips. She starts looking for the stable, reliable provider to step in, somebody who handles the bills, the security, the daily grind of raising those kids. And guess what? That is you. You end up raising another man's genetic legacy while competing with the children for her attention, time, emotional energy, and even intimacy. This has nothing to do with her being opportunistic, bad, or disloyal. This is nature running the program. Protect the offspring at all costs and secure resources for the survival, right? So ask yourself today and early, are you okay being second choice forever? Are you okay investing in kids that aren't yours biologically? And are you okay having your needs last on her list? Whether you answer yes or no, know the game before you play it. And in the end, the choice is yours.
It is completely unnatural for men to be fathers. So for 25,000 years, we were matriarchy. Patriarchy is fairly new and like horrible for everyone, but it's only been around for like the last 3,000 years. So when we were a matriarchy, which is like the natural state for humanity, the position of men was completely different. Like there were no fathers. And the idea of monogamy is a made up patriarchal system because when we were a matriarchy, like things were very open and free, and no one knew why women became pregnant. We would just do fertility rituals and be having a good time and be like, oh, like these women are pregnant. And then those women would have babies, and nobody cared who the father was, and nobody knew who the father was.
I'm gonna need to back up like 6 steps. Let's think about this for just 6 seconds, because this is the most wild history lesson I think I've ever received. Is she trying to convince us that for 25,000 years, men just wandered around like golden retrievers with no idea where babies came from? Oh my God, Susie's pregnant again. I wonder where that came from. Like every man watched women give birth and thought, it must have been the moon again, Cheryl. She really wants us to believe that at the time when mankind was making spears, hunting mammoths, taming the wild, they just had no idea. Oh my God, because it's not like bulls make calves and rams make lambs and dogs, they make puppies. No, and they just couldn't figure it out. Apparently, every man was just standing there like, oh my God, Susan's pregnant again. It must have been the fertility fairy. My favorite part is her citing something that apparently happened 3,000 years ago for 25,000 years with complete certainty. Like you were the one there taking attendance. Yes. Like if fathers just didn't exist, then how come all these ancient civilizations in like Latin, how come they all have words for father? If this is true, then the greatest discovery for humanity wasn't fire, it was Greg going, oh my God. That's how that keeps happening.
Most women aren't ready for the responsibility that comes with a stable man, because stability doesn't feed your need for emotional roller coasters. It doesn't scratch that itch for unpredictable validation. For women raised in dysfunction, peace feels boring until you lose it. A good man requires partnership, respect, and a woman who's emotionally regulated, not reactive, not reckless. Stay solid. Good men don't bend, they build. And the right woman rises to meet him.
Oh, I think this woman read my book. Wow. This is exactly why I tell men always stay in your frame. Because what she's saying is if you stay within your frame, you set your boundaries and you don't tolerate any from your woman, regardless how emotional she gets on her roller coaster, you just stay solid. It's my rules. This is what I'm sticking to. You either like it, stay, or if you don't like it, there's the door. Those are the only two choices you get. She knows that, hey, I have a good man. He's a solid man. I'm going to stop testing him. The more a man stays in his frame, that's what she's describing, frame. As long as he stays in his frame and she has to come in and live within his frame, she will stay. The man who keeps moving with her emotion shows the woman that this man is not stable. He's not strong enough to hold me within his frame. The second I push, the frame starts to wobble, it starts to break. And every time he gives me my way, he collapses. That is not a strong man. She don't respect that man. She cannot respect that man.
Something I've been witnessing men struggle with a lot lately in relationships is something called micro-rejections. And this is where he puts a lot of effort in to do little things that go unnoticed, like getting her a towel for when she showers, giving her a piece of food before he eats his own, sharing his food, little things that you might think, oh, that's just the bare minimum. That's what a partner should do. But they're little efforts that are ways of saying I love you. And when they continue to be unseen and unappreciated, this is where a man starts to feel very rejected, very invalidated, and kind of disconnected, because in a way he is doing these things because he's doing them because he loves you, but he's also doing them to receive the validation because he wants to know that you know how much he loves you, how much he loves to spoil you, how much he loves to treat you right. But usually this is only met with criticism about how he's actually doing that thing wrong, or he could have done it better, or bringing up things from the past. So he gets to this point where he feels like he just can't win, that no matter what he does, he's going to be punished. So eventually, there's no incentive for him to do anything nice, and there's no consequence for him to do anything wrong, because he's already being punished for doing the thing he thinks is right. So he thinks, well, if I'm going to be punished for doing something wrong, I might as well get some payout for doing the wrong thing. And I'm not saying that all men are like this or all men do this consciously. This happens just unconsciously in a lot of relationships. He's actually really trying. He maybe doesn't know how to ask for his needs to be met, so he's doing it this way. They go unnoticed, unrecognized, unrespected. He grows cold and resentful and either acts out or shuts down completely. That's just kind of the pattern that I've seen, but I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below.
What I can appreciate about Passport Bros is I think it's an effective flag being raised for Western women. The motivation for it is the fact that men are still expected to act very traditionally. They're expected to be very chivalrous. They're expected to be protectors. Maybe they're not expected to provide to the same extent now that women can essentially match them on income. But if that's what a man's duty to you is, to be chivalrous, it's very, very loosely defined what a woman's duty to a man is.
It's very ambiguous.
And that is why I think they go to places where they are actually taught from a young age how to treat a man. What is your duty to a man? And whether you want to talk about in the context of the word submission, which I know that a lot of girls don't like, me and her use the word deference instead of submission. Sounds a little bit better. It's like she wants to defer to her man a little bit more than he defers to her, which is essentially submitting. But I would love to know what you guys think. If men have those duties to you, and that's an expected duty, what do you think your duty to men is?
Girls think that they want to date a high-value man until he starts calling you out for not taking responsibility, before he starts holding you accountable, before he has higher standards for you than you have for yourself. Everyone talks about, oh, date a high-value man. This is what you do to have to attract a high-value man. But I've never heard anyone talk about like actually dating a high value man takes a totally different kind of woman. It's not for the weak. I have other friends who are dating like very loving, very successful, perfectionist, ambitious men, and it is not for the weak.
I don't think women understand that men don't want to provide for the woman who says, oh, I deserve it. Oh, as he should. No, like men want to provide for the woman who says, thank you so much. Like, thank you. You really changed my life. You really like make my life easier. Like, thank you. I want to make your life easier in a lot of ways too. Like, it should be this mutual respect for one another, because a man is not going to be respected when you're saying, oh, as he should, he should give me that. Like, it's so damaging to relationships nowadays, but that's just my opinion.
And when you look at
the Whatever podcast. First of all, I don't even know why they have that, that In-N-Out cup. In-N-Out is nasty. Just to let everybody from California know, it's gross. Whataburger, I would say, is a lot better. McDonald's, I would say, is a lot better than In-N-Out, but that's a different story. But he talked about the Passport Pros effectively raising a flag. Even if you don't agree with what they're doing, they're saying, hey, you know what? A lot of times in different situations, you might have people say, okay, if you don't like it, go elsewhere. And the Passport Pros said, hold my beer.
This is Pew Research. 50% of men aren't looking for a relationship.
When they say aren't looking for a relationship, do they mean I'm not looking for a woman or I'm not looking for commitment?
Not actively pursuing any kind of interaction with women.
Oh.
Casual included.
What?
50%. Here's the point, right? You asked about solutions. The first thing that we need to do is turn down the volume of adversarial nature between these two. Anybody that listens to those two stories, right, the plight of men and the plight of women in the modern dating world, and doesn't see it as, wow, that really, really sucks for both sexes. Men have it worse in some ways, women have it worse in different ways, right? This isn't a competition of like, oh, let's wave the flag of who's actually accumulated more victimhood points. The first thing that needs to happen before anything is the volume of the conversation needs to be turned down. We need to see the challenges that are faced by both sexes. The second thing that needs to be put out front is that there needs to be a way to raise men up without bringing women down, because it is very easy for you to say, okay, so women are out achieving men in education and employment, let's just put the reins on them, and then everything's going to be brought back. Go, look, I am not trying to row back any of the gains that have been made by women over the last 50 years. But you do want to have eligible male partners, right? If the thermodynamics of attraction include the fact that women tend to want to date across and up in terms of status, employment, and education, you need to do something, right?
Men can love only one football team, soccer team, basketball team, but when it comes to just loving one woman, being tied down just seems like the worst possible outcome.
This is not for all men. Some men actually want to stay with the same person long term or forever. But part of the reason why they're so loyal to their team is because there's a reason for it. For a lot of men, it's not the commitment itself, it's committing to the wrong woman. That's why you see men who happily are obsessed with their same team even if they haven't won a game for so long. For a man, every year that you're with him or all the time you're with him adds happy memories. If you're a woman, enjoyable to be around. The inside jokes, the intimacy. And for a lot of men, that becomes irreplaceable. And that's why sometimes men go through a horrible breakup and years later they're still thinking about that one woman that they once were with. A lot of men don't see commitment itself as the cage. It's being tied to that woman that seems amazing at first, but then the real her comes out and she's impossible to deal with. And by then he's already invested so much. Or they're married and it's not easy to just get up and walk away. Now this isn't all men. Some men don't want long-term relationships, and that makes sense in itself, as long as he's upfront, honest, and isn't hurting anybody. But just because a man loves one specific football team doesn't mean he doesn't notice the good stuff in the other team, the way they handle the situation, the way it played out, but they're still loyal to that one team. It's the same thing with women. He still notices attractive women exist outside of the woman he's with, but he chooses to commit to her long term and every day. But again, you have to give him that reason.
If your first reaction to hearing men are trash is not all men, not me, you are missing the forest for the trees.
Really? Do explain.
Now, either literally millions of women are lying about their experiences with men for no reason, or it's time to accept that there might be a problem with men.
Well, indeed, there is a problem out there with some men. That is the key word that a lot of individuals like to leave out of this particular conversation, is the word some, because it's so much easier just to generalize everyone than to actually focus on those individuals that are really the problem.
And I know that accepting that there is a problem with men means that if you do care about the state of the world, and if you do care about protecting the women that you say you want to protect, that it might mean you actually have to do something or say something.
And a lot of men, believe it or not, actually do something or say something. But yet they're still just seen as guilty as every other man because it's all men, right?
Just not being part of the problem doesn't make you part of the solution. So ask yourself, who are you protecting? The brotherhood? What brotherhood are we talking about? Because based on what I'm seeing from all these masculine influencers, they're ready to and eat you at the slightest bit of provocation.
It's almost as if that was an excellent example of the behaviors of some men. Again, they keep leaving out that word.
Men are out here claiming that they want to be protectors of women, but they will not protect women from themselves.
I would almost be willing to bet that someone that I could mention probably considers themselves to be an ardent male feminist. Yet, ironically, I'm not seeing how that's the case because they're not acting in the way in which a true feminist would be. Because feminism, after all, is about equality and equal treatment and fairness. Yet, they're tolerating the unfair treatment of an entire population of people, men, based on the actions of some of those members of that group. Not very feminist-minded, is it?
Women these days are looking for a come-up. They're looking for somebody to save them. They're looking for their next thing. When you really unpack what's going on right now in society, a lot of women are bums because they choose to look for that. Listen, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not sugarcoating. A lot of women are bums, and you have high standards with low quality in yourself. You want a man to have 6 figures. You want a man to take care of you, pay all your bills. You want a man to do this, that, and the third. Elevate your life. But you can't do that for yourself. So why is a man going to invest that into you when you don't even do that for yourself?
4 ways women lose a good man and how you can avoid it. Pay attention. Let's get into it, ladies. Men, correct me if I'm wrong. Taking them for granted. A man been so good to you for so long, you no longer see the value in them, the value in how they treat you. Not communicating well or effectively, like expecting men to read our minds and getting mad when they can't. Being dismissive about how you make him feel or being overly defensive in response to how he feels. Basically, not liking being held accountable for your actions and how you've made that man feel. Last but not least, being selfish and unwilling to compromise.
Sometimes men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping, she's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like, is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other? Okay. So just make sure, before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
Those guys cannot afford American women. Those guys who look overseas for women and want a wife cannot afford American women. After about 2 to 5 months, you're gonna realize that you're not living a life of luxury. You're actually living with someone who everyone else rejected. You're going to figure that out quick, because I've done consultations with green card wives. They needed an escape plan. They get you here, they get you your little green card, and then they tell you need to go find a job to help them. Okay? They're going to be like, oh, I love you, let's get married, da, da, da. As soon as you're able to work, guess what? You got to go work. You ain't going to be sitting here looking cute. You going straight to work to help them pay for their bills. Okay? They just got an indentured servant. Don't think this because somebody from America want you finna come live the life of luxury, because they want you to come work for them and pay half their bills because they can't get an American woman.
Men nowadays, they don't want girlfriends.
The men you want don't want girlfriends. No. The ones that get super up and successful, no point for them to settle down a little bit unless they're oral or religious, because they have so much optionality.
I agree.
You wait to the end when they already made it. They struggle all this time to not express and enjoy the reward of optionality with women. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use some discernment, see if this guy can have potential to be something in the future, and then lock him down. So you gotta find somebody.
Are you an open man or are you?
I'm a loyal nigga. So you need some. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's all I got for you. I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good here. Yeah. Let's see what's going on. You be choosing.
If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more monies, 150, maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure. The more the merrier. But
300,000, like I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work. Like life's expensive.
Anywhere from 70 to 100K. I would have to say 127. $500,000. Is that bad?
Probably 150 to $250,000 a year.
Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000.
I'm cooking for you. I'm cleaning for you. I'm rubbing your head, both of them. I'm getting you dressed, socks and all. Put your feet in, babe. I'm rubbing neck, back, and feet. I don't care. I'm going all out my way for you. I'm going all out my way for you, okay? I'm a catering cancer. What did you expect? Huh? Oh.
And once again, I really do like that some of these women are getting it. PSA to modern women. The dating phase, the courting phase, the engagement phase, the marriage phase is not for him just to run around behind you endlessly, chasing you down and trying to prove to you his love. You have to do the same. A lot of times modern women don't want to do that, and they call it weaponized incompetence. When the man he doesn't understand or he doesn't know what you're talking about. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes you're not reciprocating. You ever thought about that?
I did not have a prenup. I asked for one, and I was told, Ash, I have known you since we were 20 years old. I've watched you build everything. I would never, ever take that from you. And I trusted him. I lost everything that I worked for since I was 17. A lot of my friends were like, Ash, you need a prenup. I mean, I built everything that I have. I didn't come from generational wealth. I didn't come from any type of inheritance. Like, everything that I have, I did it by myself. They're like, you need to protect that. You need to protect that. Like, yeah, okay. He's a great guy. Because people are like, oh, prenups, you're planning the divorce before you're even married. Okay. If you're driving and you wear a seatbelt, you are not wearing a seatbelt with an anticipation to crash. You are wearing a seatbelt in the event that you do crash. And it is the same exact thing. I'm not a woman of regrets, but that is definitely something that I do regret.
I love to see these videos of these women who become extremely successful outside of their man, where they literally build themselves up from the ground up, and then they end up marrying somebody who didn't really progress in life, man, and then they get a divorce and they take half their stuff, because it's hilarious that these women sound exactly like a man. If you took everything she said right there and put a male's face on it and just put the audio behind the face, you would think that those words were being spoken by a man. Now that women are becoming successful financially, man, and they're getting robbed in the divorce court, all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, this is not fair. How can someone do this? I built all of this. How can you take half? It doesn't feel good, does it, lady? I love to see it, though. Crazy.
So this is a PSA for all of the modern women out there. So I just want you guys to know that the dating phase is not just for a man to prove to you that he's worthy of your time, but it's also for you to prove to him as the woman that you're worthy of his time as well, too. That you can actually bring value to his life and something other than your looks and what's in between your legs. Hate to break it to you. Also, a lot of y'all think, oh, I have a whole bunch of options anyway. And what winds up happening is y'all have this false narrative that y'all play in y'all head over and over again, that I have a whole bunch of options, so I don't care if he, doesn't want to do what I want him to do during the dating phase. Out of the 10 options that you may have, maybe one of them might actually want to take you seriously. We're not going to act like we got 10 options of husbands that's just waiting to marry us. Okay, so I need y'all to be a little bit more realistic, because y'all be in Delulu land, delusional. Also, I also want to put y'all on game as well, too. When a man is actually pursuing you seriously, Just know that during the dating phase, that means that you should not be sleeping around or entertaining other men during that time as well too. This should be common sense, but you would be surprised how many women will be sleeping around with multiple men and dating all these men and then wonder why they confused. Yeah, that's a no-go, and if the man find out, you're done.
Bad bitch, get glasses, ain't one yellow bone red.
Yes, unfortunately, there are more than a few women out there that really feel this way about men. I would go so far as to say that they don't actually consider men to be fellow human beings. They just see them as a means to an end, and they use them for what they can get out of them, in so much as that it benefits them. And after those men no longer benefit them, they are absolutely discarded and considered to be useless once again. And unfortunately, this behavior is so commonplace that it's beginning to emerge all over the internet and on social media. And there are droves of like-minded, might I add, terribly like-minded women out there that will praise them for this sort of behavior. Unfortunately, you'd think they would know better, because they were probably some of the first ones that would absolutely have a problem with a man using them in any capacity. The irony.
Probably will be for life.
The world wasn't built for men, though. It was built for all of us, so we all could have a good life. Also, watching men suffer doesn't mean women are doing better. And if your happiness depends on watching men struggle, that is disturbing. That's genuine human suffering, and you're looking at that like it's a win. But when women struggle, men are expected to have empathy for women, which they typically do. But it's okay to sit here and not care about men struggling. Also, men are on both sides of the extreme, where a lot of us ladies were in the middle, which is actually a better place to be when you think about it. The majority of people homeless are men. And yes, some of the most wealthy people in the world are men. But most men are either in the middle or lower, on the lower end. And that's not something to be happy about. And everything that you take for granted every single day was probably built, maintained, and continues to be maintained by men. So men struggling does affect you. If that's the only thing you can care about, then do consider. If men stopped doing things for us today, everything would fall apart.
So I've noticed lately that broke men are trying to convince single mothers that rich men don't want them. And the funniest thing about that to me is the reasons are usually like, oh, it's so much harder, it's going to be more expensive. They're looking at the children as obstacles. They're looking at these women as used goods. And here's the thing. Successful men don't base what they want off of how easy it is to get it. In fact, in my experience, when there's a bit of a challenge, it's more exciting for them. They're not going to go with the easiest lay, right? They're going to go with someone that's interesting to them. And the qualities that make someone a good mother really makes them an interesting person and a really good partner too. So, food for thought. These broke guys, dusty guys, really guys are going to try to convince you that you're not worth as much because they're trying to get a baddie for a discount.
Let me be very clear when I say this. This is a movement formed by broke men. Men who have the means to be a provider, they don't act like this. They are more than happy to provide for you in the way that you need as a woman. I am thankful for the men who started this movement. The only men who want to have a soft girl life are the broke ones.
Once you had a woman spend on you, there's no going back. See, this is how I know she's broke. When a man with money and a woman with money get together, they just spend on each other. And she's talking about provision. What are you providing him? See, the type of men with money that she's talking about is the ones with no sauce. She's talking about the men that don't really know women like that. All they know is present some money and follow her lead. So for this soft guy era, broke women need not apply. This isn't for you. Because from what I understood, I thought y'all were out earning men. I thought y'all had more degrees than men. I thought y'all were getting more houses than men. So you mean to tell me you claim to have that bag, but you can't cover a steak? Pay no attention to these broke women because they're not really talking about nothing if they ain't talking about that cash.
Never trust a woman that you're dating who puts a lot of effort and emphasis into her social media. Let me explain. Any form of self-promotion, any form of attention-seeking behavior, any form of trying to look seductive for photography, here's what that actually leads to. What that leads to is a woman who is trying to maximize hypergamy. Even if she is dating you, in the back of her mind at all times, she's sitting there wondering, what if a new guy comes along on her profile? What if a new guy comes along and direct messages her? What if a new guy comes along who is better than you? The funny thing about this is all men know this deep down inside of their intuition, but they choose to ignore it. You've been conditioned to ignore it. I am here to tell you to trust your gut, and your intuition as a man. And you know when you see this sort of behavior that it is a recipe for disaster, especially with a woman that you're wanting to invest emotionally into. Because of that, you need to save yourself the headache, you need to save yourself the heartbreak, and you need to save yourself the hardship, and you need to find women who align with your values and where you're trying to go in life as a man. Hey, click the link in my bio. You're going to see the entire movement and community that I made specifically for you.
It's a double standard.
Wait, how's it a double standard?
Like, women sometimes don't mind if a guy has had multiple partners.
Yeah.
But then when you ask the man the same question, they want their woman to like be virgins or have very few partners.
Well, how would that be a double standard though?
But before we even ask that, I just have to ask you a very quick question, Christy. Do you think that there are women who wear heels who are sexy?
Not all women that wear heels look sexy.
No, not all, of course. But you think you don't object to women wearing heels, right?
Correct.
Would you object to a man wearing heels?
If I'm dating him, yes.
Now, well, what kind of double standard is that?
I want my man to be masculine. That's my personal preference. So
Right,
heels
so
is out of
preference.
question.
So then it's not a double standard when it comes down to preference, right?
Well, I guess so then.
Girls think that they want to date a high value man until he starts calling you out for not taking responsibility, before he starts holding you accountable, before he has higher standards for you than you have for yourself. Everyone talks about, oh, date a high value man. This is what you do to have to attract a high value man. But I've never heard anyone talk about like actually dating a high value man takes a totally different kind of woman. It's not for the weak. I have other friends who are dating like very loving, very successful, perfectionist, ambitious men, and it is not for the weak.
Ignore her and she gets curious. But if she ignores you, it has the opposite effect. The moment a man feels unwanted, he goes quiet. A man can give everything, his time, loyalty, protection, and his effort. But once he believes he's being taken for granted, his instinct is always to leave. He won't beg to be valued by anyone. He'll remove himself from the place that made him feel small. And once a man checks out, the version you knew rarely comes back the same. Attention can be found anywhere. Self-respect can't. A man can survive losing the person he loves, but he won't survive losing himself and his respect to keep them.
I don't know why. Yeah, now that I think about it, I do. I don't know. I think the question was, do rich men date single moms? And a woman was talking about, don't let these men, these broke men, tell you that rich men aren't going for single moms. They like a challenge. Maybe they like a challenge, but they don't like disrespect. That being a challenge is different. Getting him to pursue you is different from being difficult. That's different from being disrespectful. A lot of these modern women have disrespect confused with showing interest, but I can't give it to you. I can't give it up to you that easily. When you give it up to a man so easily, that might indicate to him, oh, she might be doing this to other people. She might be doing this with other people. That's what that might indicate, right? But if he's kind of pursuing you and you're making it a little bit, difficult, I guess, in that way, when you say, well, you got to work a little bit, right? I don't want to just come hang out at your house right now. I'm just getting to know you. Let's go out to eat. Let's talk. Let's go grab coffee. Let's talk. And we get to actually know each other. But I can't let you have me just off one conversation now. Yeah, take me out and see what's up. Okay, so let's go to Top Golf. All right, cool. Let's go to this rooftop bar over here. on the other side of town for our next date. Okay. None of that has to be ultra expensive, but we're sitting and we're getting to know each other. Modern women think difficult is, if you want to reach my standard, take me to the most expensive restaurant. Do the most expensive thing by sending me an Uber. Pay for my child care, for my babysitter, a nanny. Pay for that. Pay for my hair, my nails, my makeup. Send me a car, and not just any car. The best looking car. That's not the difficult we're talking about. We're just talking about you showing him I'm not just out here, and my time is not just out here available for anybody. Not anybody can just have this.
I think it's a really raw deal for men that we are going to hold men to this masculine standard while we hold women to absolutely no standard whatsoever. It's 100% okay for even feminist or 50-50 equality women to say men should. But it's clearly, whoa, the moment you say women should, now we're getting into sexism. Now we're getting into misogyny. But women, even equality feminist women, men should pay for dates. Men should be chivalrous. Men should protect me. Men's roles are static. Men have to, up front, be trad. But women get to reserve that until marriage. And even then, a lot of these married chicks, the married liberal chicks, they ain't doing that. I don't think it's going to go over very well, especially with more traditional leaning women, if men started to say, I'm not going to protect you, I'm not going to provide, I'm not going to pay for dates, I'm not going to even be masculine until we're married. That's not going to fly with women. But women can say, I'm not going to be submissive, we're going to be 50-50, I'm not going to cook, I'm not going to clean, you just want a mom. Maybe in marriage you'll get that, and it's still negotiable.
Some of y'all women, you're doing too much. You are the bear in the forest. You need to be scared of yourself. A lot of y'all are running around acting like you so scared of men, acting as if you fear for your life on a day-to-day basis. Girl, men don't even pay you no mind on a day-to-day basis. You go to the mall, they ignore you. You go to the store, they ignore you. You go to the club and the lounges with your homegirls and they talk to everybody but you. Men ain't worried about you. You could be in the forest with a bear and a man and you got a better chance of the bear wanting to smash. It's almost comical listening to a group of women who invite strangers from dating apps to their house to smash on the first day are scared of men. I can't tell the way y'all be getting pregnant by strangers, men who last names you don't even know, men who mama you don't meet until the baby shower. I can't tell you scared of these men. Not the way you be out here giving out your address so freely and letting them come over there and Netflix and chill. And somehow y'all scared of men. You scared to be in a forest with a man. Be for real. Y'all are comical. Nobody even takes you serious at this point because you're a joke.
30% of men haven't had sex in the last year. 50% of men say that they are not looking for a relationship. That is an unbelievably extreme statement for men to make.
When they say aren't looking for a relationship, do they mean I'm not looking for a woman or I'm not looking for commitment?
Not actively pursuing any kind of interaction with women.
This supports what I have said for a long time. Men are done with dating, they're done with relationships, and they're even done with sex. It's why 1,000 women will show up to a singles night and only 20 men come. It's why there's women all over TikTok and Facebook and Instagram asking, where are the good men? Why aren't they chasing anymore? Because they've given up. There's no benefit to dating. There's no benefit to a relationship because it's all entitlement and expectations. So men have decided better to protect your peace than invite chaos into your life.
These aren't rules for women. They're standards for my time. You're free to do whatever you want. These are mine. If I plan a date and something comes up, that's fine, no problem. But it's on you to offer the next availability. I lead, I don't chase. Early dating is not sponsorship. If you're asking me to fund basics that you should already be doing, we're not aligned. I'm not looking for a woman to pay, but I am looking to see if you want to contribute. Your effort matters and will be noticed. And I'm not even going to let you pay, but I want to see you offer. At some point, I want to hear you say the words thank you to either me or the waitstaff. Just once, at least once. Gratitude costs nothing, and it shows everything. If I offer to pick you up or to send a car, I expect you to be ready on time. Respect for time is respect for the person. I live an active life. If movement or working out together feels like a chore, we are not compatible. I don't need constant texting, but I do need mutual effort. There's a difference between being busy and being disengaged. Basic hygiene is not negotiable. It's not about perfection. It's about self-respect. I'm drawn to feminine, warm, nurturing energy. That's not something I teach. It's something I notice. And this one matters. I don't date women who don't take accountability. If everything is always everyone else's fault, there will be no future. Growth requires responsibility on both sides. These aren't demands, they're filters. And the right woman doesn't argue with standards. She fits them.
Your statement here, women deserve less.
Yes.
What substantiates that conclusion?
Because women are incredibly entitled, rude,
Okay,
narcissistic,
okay.
solipsistic,
Okay, so let's-
have huge egos.
Okay, so let's zero in on that one point. You said entitled. How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, I think any heterosexual guy here will agree with me that
Oh, no,
dating
no.
women.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Well-
What's your reasoning?
So you want my anecdotal answer?
No, I don't. I'm talking about logic. Like, what's your reasoning? This doesn't include.
Okay, I mean, I can draw from many
necessarily.
different pools, but in general, I've talked to over 4,000 women.
No. This isn't. I'm trying to get what science substantiates that claim, that support the claim that women are entitled, and then therefore it necessarily follows that women deserve less.
Women are opportunistic maters.
Okay. Now you're doing something different. We started off with women are entitled, and now you're saying opportunistic maters. Let's focus on one at a time.
Man, because masculine men pay for women. No, you're a bitch. You're a bitch. Sorry to break it to you. Bitch when you pay for sex. You're a man when you pay for a family. It's that simple. The man that pays for a family and is a provider, he is super masculine. What he's doing is selecting a very loyal woman who is very dedicated and very loving to him, who is raising his kids in a way that he's proud of. As a result of all of her good behavior and all of her great traits and her loyalty, paying for escorts and sugar babies and gold diggers, it makes you a bitch. A pathetic man is a man that will choose a woman and provide for her because she gives him. Provide for her because she gives him validation. Provide for her because he's attracted to her. She's not loving to him. She's not loyal to him. She's not respectful to him. She's talking to her ex. Ask yourself, what are you paying for? It kills your masculinity as a man when you provide for women who don't love you.
Well, yeah, that is true, but you got to kind of look at it from the lens of a woman. And when men can do this, they'll stop being so upset and repeating this type of thing, which I understand. Women look for different things, bro. You know, for me, it took me a long time, and it was a rude awakening, because I grew up, when I was young, I was ugly. So when I grew up, I was like, wow, women think I'm handsome. Like, this is new to me. Like, and I was like, wow, I'm getting women. And like, wow, they're just getting more and more beautiful. Like, what the? But it's like this. There's certain tiers of women. So you have a guy that don't get any women. And then you have a guy, which was me, and this is why like I pumped the brakes on, like, you know, around with women for a second, because I had to focus on me. I was getting low tier ass women. And even though that they're beautiful, that beauty blinded me. Because she's beautiful, she's top tier. No, she's not. In here, she's undateable. But that body, though, she's top tier. No, she's not. And that's the thing. So as you acquire more as a man, as you become more of an exceptional man, or you're at least striving to do so, and the woman can see this, then you'll get a better type of woman. But for the most part, yeah, men are visible to women because you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. This woman's like, yeah, you're a loser. Come get me pregnant. Like, they don't think that way. They're like, okay, well, are you going to take care of me? Can you take care of me? Can you take care of these kids that you talk about, you know, having with me? What's your future like? That's what they care about. And that's always going to be that thing for them. You know, so you've got to look at it that way. Is it unfair? Honestly, not really. It's really not. I used to be mad at women too, but I'm like, I ain't got. So then when I realized I ain't, I had to change that. And as I grew more, then women were like, oh, like, who's that? And I'm like, damn, girl. Like, so as you build more, you get more access to women, and you no longer are invisible to them. But as a man, you got to understand, I love y'all, but you can't be ugly and broke. You got to pick a struggle, you know, and I say this from the heart.
Women get tattoos for culturally too. Well, my friends got it. Oh, look tough on this. Oh, I'm gonna get that too. Yeah, we know you get it for that. We know a lot of men get it for that too. But there's also another dark side to tattoos.
There is. No, there
I'm
really
going
is.
through
Yeah.
something, so tat me up.
No, seriously.
You feel what I'm
There's
saying?
people who
So
get
a man that's going through something is kind of what I'm saying is that a man that's going through something is attractive in a woman's eyes. This is what I'm saying. Like he going through something, and he overcame it. He got that tattoo that means something. But that woman that went through something, like scars is sexy on a man. Scars isn't sexy on a woman. Make sense? Like women want her man to have scars because it's like he went through something, he overcame it. So that means that if I'm in a relationship with him and a situation arises, he'll be able to handle that because he went through it before.
Yeah.
Right? So scars is sexy on a man. An experienced man is sexy. But men, we don't necessarily look for an experienced woman. So if she has a whole lot of scars, it's like damaged goods.
Why? Yeah.
Certain men are not replaceable. You can either appreciate him while he's here or you can regret losing him whenever he's gone. A good man is not going to keep on repeating himself, baby. He's not going to keep on begging for appreciation or proving his worth to you. Eventually, he gets tired. He's going to get tired of giving without receiving. He'll get tired of loving without feeling valued. He'll get tired of feeling invisible inside of a relationship where he's pouring everything he has into it. And the craziest part is a lot of women don't realize what they have until the silence replaces the effort. Some men are rare, not because they're perfect, but because they're very intentional. They're loyal, they're protective, they're consistent, and they're genuine trying. Don't wait until another woman comes along to appreciate your good man. Appreciate him while you have him.
And, you sit up here. I think the account is the unshakable she. And it's like, men like this only sound smart until a woman asks one simple question. Well, in that clip between Myron and the woman kept on interrupting him. What science do you have to back that? What are you getting this from? I don't want to. Well, I've talked to over 4,000 women. Oh, no, you're going somewhere. Let me speak. She wasn't asking a question. She was interrupting. Oh, dude. And Myron asked, do you want my anecdotal evidence? And remember, listening, my anecdotal evidence, this is my experience. He separates that from, here's the 4,000 women that I've talked to, over 4,000 women that I've talked to. And this is why I say women are entitled. If you put out a survey reasonably in a lot of situations might have 2,000 or 3,000. And I think a good sample size, if I remember correctly, is somewhere around 1,200. But don't quote me on that. Good sample size. So if you're getting a good census of these people think this, then your survey might be valid. So if he's saying, I've talked to over 4,000 women, and this is what I'm drawing on, that could be concluded as scientific data, scientific evidence. He's doing a social experiment. And if he's doing that social experiment and he's coming to that conclusion, and then we can pull in desirable truth. He does that. And he does the same thing. And then we can pull on MTR. He's talked to a lot of ladies. Right. And we're not just talking about like in real life where nobody can see. We're talking about like actual shows. We talk about the Whatever podcast. I'm forgetting his name. I can see his face, but he does a lot of that stuff as well. I think his name is Michael or something like that. I can't remember, but he does a lot of that stuff, right? And then of course, men, they have their own experiences of what they see, and when they talk to women, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, you have women talking to matchmakers. I mean, I don't get it. You have women talking to matchmakers. Once again, I was listening to a matchmaker, and I think there were, Christian matchmakers, right? And she said, we don't have any trouble getting women in, but we do have trouble getting men in. Why do you think the reason for that is? We don't have trouble getting women to pay for our services, but men don't want to. We have to give them their first match for free and then work with them to see if they'll be flexible and pay our subscription fee or our consulting fee in order to find more matches. Why do you think men are doing that? Because the way modern women be acting.